Okay, so 4 o'clock, today's session for 30 minutes is all about study break yoga if you're studying at home. And I'm going to add a little bit of some resourcing tools to help you feel safe and secure at this particular time. So this is really important for us to develop what we call in mindfulness presence and awareness, being in the here and now, and that's what we're going to be doing today. So we're not thinking about the past and we're not worrying about the future. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about resourcing tools, and that could be a standalone practice that you could do at any time. I'm going to talk about having your own self-care plan to make you feel safe and secure, a little bit of a toolbox. Okay, then we're going to go into our body scan and set an intention and do our practice, which will help you to be aware of postural alignment, how you hold yourself. Because if you're doing a lot of rounding over a computer or any form of device, okay, such as this, all right, that can affect your respiration and your digestion. And it's really, really important that we try to open up the tension. Having tension in the shoulders and the body as we're arching forward can be very, very tiring. You feel quite sluggish. So this is a nice little, in the middle of this class, there will be a nice little bit of information about how to stretch out little standalone practices that you can do every so often throughout the day when you're doing your home study. So first of all, okay, in terms of a self-care plan to help you feel safe and secure and grounded, this is very, very important because it regulates your nervous system. At this present moment in time, you may feel a little bit worried and insecure and a little bit stressful, and that's completely natural, okay? And this will help you to regulate your nervous system, so you'll feel nice and safe and nice and secure and nice and grounded. So whatever is going on around you in the world, okay, where you are in this present moment, in this particular time, you can feel anchored and strong. And some of the techniques we're going to do a little bit in the middle of the yoga practice will help you to feel quite empowered, to take back control, to feel a sense of agency, to get back your voice, to feel as though you have a sense of overarching kind of control of the situation, because everything appears to be very much out of our hands. Now, first top tips for your self-care plan to feel grounded and regulate your nervous system. We work on our senses, that anchors us into our here and now. So I always like to think of, have something to hand, that a small item that you can hold, or fidget. It can be a fidgety spinner, it can be a nice smooth soft stone or pebble that you can play with, that you have a sense of physical touch. Using your 5 senses gets you into your body and gets you feeling safe and secure and stable. So you can play with that thing that you hold and fidget. Your own music playlist of your favourite tunes is quite important. You can build that up on Spotify, for example. That's really, really nice. I always think it's very, very helpful. I know I've got a little bit of, this is a little bit of it's an essential oil burner, but you could have a favourite scent of yours. You can put it on a little bit of tissue, and you can pop it just roll it under your sleeve, and you can pull it out whenever you feel like it, which is quite nice. Okay, or you can have that burning in the background, like a little bit of an incense burner or something. Have some poems, quotes and photographs of lovely things that connect your heart with your mind. I have lots of inspirational quotes as pictures on my phone, which is very, very good. Photographs of people that I love. Inspirational poems. Now, obviously, being an ex-English teacher, I could give you plenty of those if you want to ask, but sometimes, you know, they are really, really useful. Have a space. This is my space to drop in for quiet contemplation. It can be, doesn't matter how untidy your bedroom is, but you might just have a little corner of your room that is nice and lovely and clean, where you can practice some of these things that we're doing today, which is really important. Okay, that's very, 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 very nice to have that space. You can put your little pictures there. You know, I have it's like an altar for me, really. I suppose that little bit is. But, you know, I've got a picture of Frida Kahlo and, you know, a picture of David Bowie, and I've got a little Buddha statue. It doesn't have to be that at all. It can be something that you really, really like and enjoy. Orientating, really, really important. This really helps you to feel grounded. If you're really having an anxious sort of moment, okay, you can get your fidgety thing, you can get your scent, okay, but you can look around the room. This is called orientating, and you can look at colours and objects and the light that gets your attention and take in the whole space of the room. This tricks your body into feeling safe and secure. Now imagine that you're a dog and you're going into a new room, you know, and you're being introduced to new people. They run in, they sniff around and they orientate themselves until they feel safe. Okay, so that's really important. So just take in the environment, and you can breathe at the same time as you're looking around. Okay, at the same time as doing that, okay, listen for sounds. It can be my voice, your breath, sounds outside of the room, traffic, birds, anything like that. Stimulate your mouth, your senses taste, so tickle your hard palate. That stimulates your brain as well when you're quite tired. So if you're having a study break, that stimulates your brain, wakes you up. Little trick I learnt when, you know, you're doing a bit of night driving. And this is my favourite one to feel grounded. Rub your hands together. Feel the sensation of the friction and the warmth. This is really nice. And then just gently, okay, tap the boundaries of your body. Because if we're feeling a little bit lightheaded and up there and disassociated, just tap, you know, your head. You can squeeze, give yourself a nice sort of soothing and hug. You know, place your hands on your hearts. You can tap all the way down and squeeze your legs. It just grounds you into the present moment, just to tell you that you're here. You know, the hug's nice. It releases oxytocin and endorphins that are all the feel-good kind of lovey-dovey, warm, cuddly hormones that counteract the stress hormones of cortisol and adrenaline that you associate with fight or flight, freeze, flop. Your centre, notice where your centre is and your breath is. Okay, when we practice our yoga, we practice this by slightly lifting our lower abdomen up towards our head. So we pull it up a little bit and sort of contract it a little bit. You know, so we've got a nice strong core. But you can practice belly breathing. This is really important for your sense of agency, sense of feeling empowered and getting your control back. You know, I remember what it was like being a teenager. Everybody else was telling me what to do, you know. So you can place your hands on your belly, and you can imagine that you've got a balloon just behind your belly button, and you can do deep belly breathing, nice big inhales and nice big exhales, and really feel the contact of your body and the floor. So I'm sat on blocks here. I'm feeling the sensation of my hips on the blocks, my feet on the floor and my legs. But what would really help you if you're really struggling is to do all these things at the same time. 3 things that are purple in this room I can see. Okay, I'm listening to the clock ticking over there. Lovely. I'll rub my hands. Squeeze my shoulder, give myself a nice hug. Really connect with my breath and feel my hips and feet on the floor. That's really, really important. Okay, so now we're going to do our study break yoga. So that's a little bit of a tip there to help you feel safe and secure in these sort of anxious times where we don't know what's going on. Yoga, remember last week we talked about mind and body and breath all being connected, because yoga means to yoke, unite. So mind, breath, body. Remember we're going to, don't worry if you don't breathe when I cue, because there are certain nice deep inhales and nice deep exhales. Just remember to breathe in and out through your nose. If you're not quite sure when to breathe, just remember to breathe. I don't want anybody going blue or purple. That's the really important thing. So let's begin, really important, with our body scan. We talked about that last week. If you remember, go back. If you've not actually seen last week, it's on YouTube. Reminder of why a body scan is so important. The body scan is really important because what we're doing is we're practicing and noticing with curiosity, okay, and awareness, okay, of ourselves, taking notice, and right here, right now, so we're not thinking about the past, which may upset us because we think maybe what we've done wrong, what we could change, but we can't change it. And then our worries for the future. So, if you would like to lie on your back, you could do this seated if you want with your legs crossed. Okay, you can have your knees bent, laid on the floor, which is really, really important. And imagine that you're in that scanner when you're in the airport, okay, and it's going to do a whoosh from head to foot, okay? So we're going to sense, we're going to feel, we're going to notice, we're going to allow with curiosity and without judgment and say hello to whatever is happening here, whether it's tension or sensation or relaxation or nothing at all. So let's just quickly do that scan. So start from top of your head, and your face and your jaw, your neck, tops of your shoulders and shoulder blades. Checking with your chest area, both front and back. Okay, your abdominals and your lower back, your arms and your hands, your hips and thighs and knees, shins and calves, ankles and feet. And then just come back to that whole body there. See if you can notice any real spotlight of attention, something that without judgment, without analysing it, with curiosity, just notice where is the area of most sensation. Just notice, say hello to it. And then just let that go for now. And then just check in with your mind. If it's a car, how fast is it going? Stalled? Parked? 20 miles an hour? 30? 70, just notice, not looking for reasons why. And then connect with that heart centre. What are your emotions feeling today? Whether you're feeling bored or upset or tense or anxious, just say hello. Not looking for reasons why. We always put the welcome mat out to all difficult experiences. But we observe from a distance. Imagine that your emotions are like a river. You're observing the river, but you're not stood in the river. Okay, and then set an intention for your practice. So you can do this seated. So an intention is a wish for your own well-being. So any worry or complaint that you've got at the moment, see if you can flip that script. So if you're feeling worried, maybe you want to say to yourself today for this practice, I wish for my well-being that I feel calm through this session for the next 20 minutes. So we're going to start then being aware of our postural alignment. This is so important, and you can check in with this throughout the day whenever you're practicing doing any of your work for school. Okay, so remember that your ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. That's really important because it affects your respiration. We need that deep breathing. The breathing is attached to your fight or flight response, and it calms your nervous system. So if you can breathe properly without this crunching feeling, we can help ourselves to feel distressed. So our first activity we're going to do, we're going to raise our arms really, really wide on the inhale and just reach your fingers and wiggle them all the way up towards the ceiling. This is so important because it motivates the brain. Now we're hardwired to reach. Think of ourselves coming down from the trees like monkeys, reaching for food. So we're hardwired to reach. This helps to motivate the brain. Lovely. And then really, really wiggle your fingers and reach and feel that stretch all the way up to your side bodies. And then exhale, relax. Interlace your fingers. Flip your palm away. We're going to come into pineapple. Okay, do a big stretch and then drop your head through your upper arms and press your hands away from you and arch your back. Feel that stretch all in between your shoulder blades. Nice. And then let's do that reach again, but this time with our palms facing up towards the ceiling. Nice big inhale. Feel that lift between left and right side bodies and that really nice big stretch. Waking in the spine and waking in the shoulders. Don't forget to breathe and then exhale, release. Beautiful. So, rolling our shoulders out. We forget that tension and stress in our upper body can be very, very tiring. So let's just roll our shoulders in nice big circles. So if you bring them forward and then up towards your ears and then squeeze your shoulder blades together, down and back and up. If you can, if that feels nice, you can time it with your breath, inhaling up and exhaling down. So don't worry about yoga today. It's not about the pose. It's not about how perfect it looks or the alignment. I just want you to think about how it feels, the sensations of it. What do you notice? We're going to practice all this feeling and sensing rather than thinking today. That's so important. Shrugs are nice as well. So you can inhale, squeeze your shoulder blades up towards your ears, and then sigh out with a ha with your exhale. So inhale up through the nose, exhale out as you drop them. Inhale up, and just really release that tension. Inhale up. We're doing a lot of that. Really focus on the exhales. Inhales energize, and exhales relax the body. And then let's do some nice neck circles and neck stretches, because we get that tension there, don't we? Our heads are always dipping forward. Remember, your head dipping forward is going to weigh as much as a bowling ball, isn't it? And it's going to put all that strain on the back of the neck. So slightly tuck your chin in. That's nice. Nice long spine. We'll do some nice slow half head circles from left to right. So you can inhale up if that feels nice. And then exhale down, and just focus on any sensations that you're feeling. Keeping that spine long, lifting out of your hips. Do you feel any tension just going down from the back of the neck, just where your shoulder blades are? That's the muscle that lifts your shoulder blade, your levator scapula. Sometimes that gets a little bit tense. The first place that we notice stress is in our body. It appears in our body before. Remember, we talked last session, in our first session, we talked about where we feel emotions in our body first before we react in our mind. And mindfulness and yoga gives you that break between, acting on what you're feeling and sensing in your body, that nice mindful break. And mindfulness is good because yoga scaffolds that nicely. So then what we're going to do is take your right ear towards your right shoulder, place your right hand over your left ear and stretch the other arm out, and then come into this deep neck stretch down here, so you feel that stretch all the way down the side. And just breathe nice and smoothly, nice and calmly. And then release and do the opposite side. So you've got your hand over your ear, and you've got your nice long spine. Feel that stretch into the neck. Okay, and let's mobilise the spine now. Little cat-cow sort of like waves. Nice for the adrenals here, where all the adrenaline comes from, that stress hormone. It's just above your kidneys. So, come into cow, push your chest through and arch your back as you come into a back bend in your inhale. And then exhale, round, push your spine in between your shoulder blades. And just undulate nicely like that. So back bends are nice. If you're feeling really tired, a back bend like this one here will help to energise you, which is good, especially if you're feeling tired, a little bit sleepy. Being on the computer and looking at a screen all day can be very, very tiring, especially if you're not getting out as much as you'd like to do. So just go in your own time. Inhale as we come into this arch, back arch, and exhale as you round forward. Nice. So this is a nice spinal wave, and this is one of my favourite little stretches for the shoulders. We call it eagle. Okay, so take your arms wide and then place your left elbow on top of the inside of the crook of your right elbow, so the backs of your hands are together like that. If that feels okay, stay like that. Okay, or so you're crossing, so your palms are facing each other. You can do the hug instead with your fingers around the backs of your shoulders. Whichever way you're doing it, inhale, lift your elbows away from your chest. Chin parallel to the floor, nice long spine. These are lovely little stretches that we're doing here, because you can just do these at your desk. And you're getting all that tension from the stretching the muscles in between the shoulder blades, and that big triangular muscle, the one that's called the trapezius muscle. That's the one that's getting tired and stressed from your head bobbing down. It's getting stretched, isn't it? And then release. So we're going to take the left underneath the right this time, or do the hug, as long as you make sure it's a different elbow on top, and lift your elbows up. Feel that stretch. And then release. This one's kind of a version of cow face arms, which you do, so you can take your right arm up and bend your elbow so your palm is in between your shoulder blade. Use your other hand to keep your elbow going up towards the ceiling. Very, very gently pull your right elbow, pull that elbow across towards your arm that's pulling it. When we do this, you get a little bit of a slight back bend as well. This is quite energising because your chest is lifting. You can also use a strap, grab your t-shirt, or use, instead of a yoga belt, you can just take out your dressing gown belt and just hold onto it there. Or just do it this way. So you get a nice stretch in the shoulders and then release. You might want to shrug it out a little bit and then do the opposite arm. Bend that elbow, palm in between the shoulder blades, and then just gently pull it across to the opposite side. Just feel that stretch. You'll get a little bit of a back bend again. That's nice. All this stuff will help to energise you when you get that slump. Little bit of a slump. Okay, and then release, and then just roll the shoulders out. So we're going to do a little bit of rebounding. So these are really, really important for grounding. When I've said about feeling safe and secure, it's really important to focus on what's going on in your feet, the floor, the connection, the strength in your legs and your thighs. Okay, so with a little bit of rebounding and a little bit of swinging twists. So just bounce your knees as you swing your arms from side to side. Imagine that your spine is like a really, really long metal rod and you're swivelling around. And then just really focus on what's happening with the sensations in your thighs and your knees and the contact with the floor. Feel the shift as you moved from all of your feet, soles of your feet, towards the balls of your feet, and that twist and that sensation in your legs. And then we'll do some shaking. Now, why are we doing shaking? Now, stress, fight or flight response is building up in your body, okay? All this adrenaline is building up in your body, but it's not going anywhere. And if it keeps building up, it will build up into chronic stress. Get a bit of Taylor Swift on, just shake everything out. Now, if nobody's in the room with you, it doesn't matter what you're doing. You can put on your favourite track. You can do this just on its own. Put on your favourite music and just let everything go. And just dance and shake it out. Dance and shake it out to whatever you absolutely love. That's so important. And then we're going to do something called, windmill breath. We're going to find our roar in our voice, and we're going to really get all that anger and tension and exhaustion and stuck energy and fear. Remember, emotion. You want to move the emotions through and out for you. You don't want them to stick in you. Okay, so that's really, really important. So come back to your feet. Feet hip distance parallel like train tracks. And just feel the contact between your feet and the floor. Just feel that energy. Feel what's going on with your thighs, okay? So what we're basically going to do is we're going to inhale, take our arms up. Nice big inhale, and then on the exhale, bend your knees. Take your chest to belly towards your thighs, and then go, ha. Now, if you feel self-conscious doing that, imagine that you're doing it inside your head. So inhale up, and then exhale out through the mouth with a ha. As if you're throwing all the stuff that's annoying you behind you. Inhale up. Just imagine that you're just throwing all that anger and fear all behind you. Just inhale up. Inhale up. Inhale up. And really feel what's going on with your feet. Inhale up. Feel that energy and the power in your thighs. Inhale up. Feel that movement. And then just come all the way back up to centre and then release. We're just going to do something that's really good for getting rid of all that anger and that tension and that stuck energy and helping you to feel more and more empowered. It's called, breaking the chains. Or you can do fists of fire if you want, thumbs inside your fists. You can put all your anger and your tension in there, can't you? And all that fear and all that worry. Okay, so we're going to come into something called high crescent lunge. So take your left foot forward as far as it will go with your knee bent over your ankle. Back leg straight, both of them facing at 12 o'clock with your hips square. So if this right hip slips a little bit back, push it forward. You can take your fists here, okay? And what you can do is you can throw all that stuff back. So we're going to do that 5 times. So inhale here, and then exhale as you straighten your front leg. Throw it all back. Imagine you're just chucking all that worry behind you, okay? So inhale. Okay, and then just go, ha! Whew. Think it's almost like karate, isn't it? Or if you're really self-conscious and worried about this, just say it inside of your head. As long as you exhale through your mouth and inhale through your nose. So inhale, throw it behind you. Inhale, 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 inhale. Ooh, balance there. Inhale. And then we're going to come to the front, okay? And we're going to come into our mountain pose. This is so important. This is our home base. Remember we talked about our home base last week? This is where we check in with our sensations, where we feel our feet on the floor. We check in with the energy and the power in our legs. And we roll our shoulders back, chest lifted, spine long. If you want to connect with your centre, your core, your sense of agency and empowerment, you can gently lift the pit of your stomach up towards your head and you get that power in there again. Okay, so we're going to root to rise now. So when we think about focus and control and really helping us when we're studying, best one to do is a balance posture. So we're going to do tree. Okay, so you can do it any way you like. Okay, so you can bring heel to ankle, rotate the knee out. Look at your spot on the floor. This is good for orientating again. Remember we talked about looking around the room. Okay, find that spot to look at. You can take it just below the knee or just above it. Okay, and push your thigh in towards your foot and your foot in towards your thigh, rotating that knee outward. Okay, remember to lift that pit of that stomach up and lift your spine. Rooting down to rise. Call to mind the picture of a tree. Push your feet down into the floor and lift, lift, lift as if your spine is rising towards there. Because when we're feeling weighed down with all the issues, sometimes, too much grounding is good, but it can be heavy. And we need to feel that lightness and that uplift and that positivity. So rising up, really nice. So come into that tree. So we're not thinking about the past, we're not thinking about the future, we're just thinking, I'm just balancing now. I'm just present, I'm aware, I'm focused. Okay, and just hold and keep breathing. Don't forget to breathe. So don't worry if you fall out as part of it. Master Bruce, Batman Returns. What we do when we fall down, we get back up again. Excellent. And then we're going to go the opposite side. So see if we can do it the opposite side. Doesn't matter how high you go. Some days I'm just here, depending on how much cups of tea I've had. So if he's just here, that's great. If you want to go for a bit of more of expression, and when you think about rooting to rise, you might want to go even further. You might think, oh yeah, I'm feeling really, really sort of, I'm feeling very, very expressive. You can go for the full, big oak. Oh, there you go, balance. You can go here, you can go here, you can go whatever you want. Go for your root to rise, feel that power, feel that strength in the legs. Nice long spine, lift that pit of that belly up, nice and tall, really, really focusing on one spot, keeping nice and strong. Remember, you're that tree in the middle of all this chaos at the moment. You're keeping strong and stable and grounded. Brilliant. And then, you want to release. So we're going to change our focus now. We're going to come back into with right leg forward and left leg back with our fists of fire. So balancing on the ball of the back foot. That's nice and powering that leg, really power up in that leg, front knee over that ankle, hips squaring forward, shoulders over hips, thumbs inside fists. Are you ready? Opposite way this time. So you're going to really pull those, get rid of all that stuck energy, all that exhaustion. You're going to feel really empowered, you're going to feel strong, you're going to release all that anger and all that fear, move those emotions out of you. Okay, so inhale here and then just go ha as you straighten your front knee, and then just go back and then just go ha. Okay, just keep doing that. Ha. Inhale. Ha. Out of the mouth. Tension release. Ha. And then one last time. Ha. And then just come to the front of your mat and let's just check in. Let's just check in with how we're feeling about our emotions now. We've just done that practice. You might want to notice if you feel any different. Any sensations moving around the body. So you might feel different to how you first checked in. Do you feel energised? Can you feel that pulsation? And just come back to that breath, that yoga breathing. So what we're going to do then is we're going to come down into ragdoll, and then we're going to come into downward facing dog, and then we're going to do my favourite tension release, which is so good, which is really good at getting rid of fight, flight, stress response, or if you're in freeze flop where you feel like you don't want to do anything. We've been going through all sorts of roller coaster emotions. Sometimes we're right up here and anxious, and sometimes we just can't get out of bed. These will help you. So bend your knees, take your, so my feet are hip distance parallel that train tap. Bend your knees, you take, fold from your hip crease here. I've got place my thumbs on my hip crease, flat back, place my belly on my thighs. I sometimes like to get my thumb right in the hip crease and push my hip crease up and back. So my tailbone goes up towards the ceiling and my head goes heavy. And just move into that stretch when you're ready. Don't go past it, but just move into it. See what you can feel going on with your hamstrings here. Because what you're doing is you're stretching the major muscles to do with your fight or flight response. These twitchy muscles that really want to run, but you can't because you're stuck in the house. So we're releasing that tension, that need to want to run away, that need to want to fight, but you can't fight something that you can't see. So just let yourself dangle. This is a nice inversion. It brings your attention inwards. It's calming. It's tension releasing of that fight-flight response in your thighs, in your hamstrings. Feel that engagement with your feet on the floor, that power in your legs, that grounding sensation. And then place your jazz hands, nice wide fingers, if you can, shoulder distance apart, and take one leg back and just drop your knee and come into a tabletop position. So your feet are hip distance apart, and tuck your toes under, and we're going to come in downward facing dog. So it's a upside down V, it's another inversion with your hamstrings and it's calming. So push your chest on the exhale towards your thighs. You're balancing on the balls of your feet and your toes. Make sure your knees are stacked over your ankles. And if your shoulders are rolling over your wrists, just bend your knees as much as you can to push your chest towards your thighs. Might help if you just dial your middle finger out a little bit so you get a little bit of space in between the shoulder blades. And you can really feel that stretch all the way across the back, into the hamstrings. It's quite a strong, powerful pose. And then just slowly drop your knees, come all the way down. And we're going to do my favourite. This one's a very good one for the core, that centre, that feel of power and agency. And also as well, if you can think of 5 things that are really annoying you right now, think of them. Anything that makes you feel sad or worried or anything, put them inside your fist, put your thumbs inside your fists. We're going to do low boat, okay? We're going to drop all of this stuff. We're going to do a squeeze and release, tension release, and I want you to focus on the difference, okay, between that squeeze and release. Now, if we're normally when we do boat, we're up here, aren't we? Chest lifted, knees bent, quite really strong on the core. And then we come into low boat and then we just drop it all down. We'll just get rid of it all in the exhale. So we're gonna come up only just a little bit. We're gonna come into low boat. So really, really squeeze on the inhale and think of that thing that's annoying you and just go like that. Squeeze really hard, squeeze. And then just go, and just go completely floppy and just let everything go. Imagine whatever is holding you back or down, you've just thrown out of your body and it's gone. So let's do that again. Think of another thing. Big inhale. And then just go, and big exhale. And just focus on the difference between tension and release. Just notice how your body feels between both states. Then we'll do it again, the one. And then just go, It's almost like when you've got like a big load of kit from like PE in school and all your backpack and everything, and you just take it off and throw it off when you've just got through the door. A bit like that. Okay, big inhale, squeeze, and just go, This mimics the fight or flight response. The running away bit. Big inhale. And then just go, And then one last thing that's right annoying you completely, just go for it. Big squeeze. And then, and just completely and utterly relax here on your back. So we're just going to do a guided relaxation here. So whatever makes you feel comfortable, eyes closed or soft gaze. You may want to lay on your front in crocodile, whatever feels good. Alright. But whatever you want to do, okay, we're going to do a mindful self-compassion activity. I personally prefer to do this seated because what I would like to invite you to do is you can add something called a soothing touch, which releases the oxytocin and the endorphins, the feel-good, heart-based, soothing hormones to make you feel good when you feel stressed. So, let's do a little bit of an experiment. You don't have to do this. You can do it laid on your back or on your front. You can wait for the guided relaxation. But just have a little bit of a soothing touch try out and see what makes you feel best. I do this with my eyes closed and I try and find the thing that makes me feel comforted when I'm struggling. Okay, so we're working with a situation of struggle and stress now. So you could have one hand on the heart, close your eyes and just notice how that feels. Or two. See if that feels quite comforting. Or maybe you could have a fist there with your hand over the top. That sort of feels quite empowering. It feels like, no, boundaries. I'm saying who I am. This is who I am. Gives you a sense of empowerment. That might feel nice. You can place one hand on your heart or one hand on your belly. See what that feels like. Or you might want to have one where you like cup your chin or your cheeks. It's a little bit like when one of your parents or gives you a loving sort of touch on your face. That might feel nice. Or you can do stroking. Or you can just do a big hug. Or you can just gently, as if somebody's holding your hand. So I want you to think of which one just experiment with that. And just think about which one that you really, really enjoy. Lay it on your front and your back or seated, whatever feels comfortable for you. We're just going to do a nice compassion exercise, which is really important. It's about becoming your own best friend, not your inner critic or your enemy. This is all about supporting you and encouraging you through challenging times. It will give you a source of inner strength. Because when we think about self-esteem, it's about being better than somebody else. But self-compassion has nothing to do with success or your academic performance or how attractive you are or how many Instagram likes you've got. It will help you to say, you know what, I'm good enough. That critical inner voice there is saying that I'm not, but this one can really help. So I just want you to listen to the words and just contemplate and reflect on them. It helps sometimes to have your eyes closed or a soft gaze. So I just want you to think of a situation that is causing you stress or struggle recently or at the present moment. Something that is small or moderate, something that you can bring to mind without it not causing too much worry. And I want you to visualise with all your senses that situation or that struggle or that stress. Picture it, be there, see it, hear it. Where are you? What can you see? Who are you with? It's like a movie, just as if you stepped into a picture movie. And see if you can notice any discomfort in your body when you are in this situation, when you're visualising it. Just notice with curiosity and with a sense of non-judgment. Just allow whatever you feel in your body. And just repeat any of these words inside of your mind as you think about that situation. It can be, for example, you could repeat, this is a moment of suffering, or this hurts, this is stressful. And just say that to yourself as you envision that situation. And then repeat the following words inside of your head. Suffering is what everybody feels and struggles with like me. I'm not alone. And if you want, if you can remember which soothing touch helps you the most, you can use that now. You can place that hand where you need to place it and just offer it as an act of self-compassion to yourself, of self-kindness. And then say to yourself the following words. May I be kind to myself. May I accept myself as I am. May I forgive myself. I am strong and patient. If you find this difficult at any point or any time when you repeat this practice, always really try to vision somebody like a best friend or loved one having the same problem and you're saying it to them. Remember, we would never talk to ourselves as a best friend would when we're struggling, would we? But we do. And then when you're ready, just come back to where you are. Feel your hips against the floor. Any sounds that you could hear. Notice your breath. Maybe get your tongue to just explore the inside of your mouth, just tickle the top of your palate. And then just slowly open your eyes and just take in where you are, the time of day, the place you are, and just orientate. Okay, namaste. Lots of things for you to come back to there. Number 1, your self-care plan. Number 2, your toolbox of orientating and sensing and centering and grounding, even if it involves a list of music or poems and quotes and photographs. A little space where you can drop into for quiet contemplation or practicing this lovely little yoga. We've done some study break yoga where we've worked on our upper body tension. We've got rid of that stuck energy and emotions that are in our body. And we've done a nice little I'm good enough meditation, reflection. So I hope you've enjoyed today. We'll be back next week at the same time at 4 o'clock. Okay, this will now be put on YouTube. The link is on the page for the YouTube, so you can watch this again. But it also will stay here permanently recorded on the Facebook page.